Friday, if you're watching this on Friday, because I live stream this everywhere, maybe you're watching a replay, but this is a good one, and I want to say that I'm talking about the Vistage Playbook here. But if you're an executive coach, really any business owner that's growing something, these tools apply to you too. But I'm just going to focus on Vistage. I'm working with a lot of Vistage chairs, and I just really, keep ranting about the playbook and the foundational tools that, in my humble opinion, every single chair needs in order to grow and nurture their practice the right way. And so this is the playbook. I'm going to put the link in wherever you're watching this, because it's going to be on YouTube, LinkedIn, going live now, and I don't know, a bunch of other places. But I'll put the link around it as soon as I can, and then check it out, because I explain in the link, which gives you this playbook. I go through with a little video on each piece and explain the importance and what it's about. But my ties to Vistage, so I'm building out 4 businesses, law firm, big law firm, asset protection, estate planning, business planning, and marketing firm, of course, and then 2 other legal related businesses that we founded. So I have those 4, and within those 4 businesses, we have a bunch of Vistage members. We are top speakers to Vistage, and we've sponsored the executive summits. I've traveled around the country for the VESs. It's awesome. Sponsored a lunch in La Jolla, California for Vistage staff for many years, and then just highly integrated with chairs everywhere, all over the country, doing really cool things. Everybody's growing and nurturing. Master chairs, chairs out of academy, everybody in between. So Vistage all the time for us. These are all the groups that we've been involved with, building out everything with Vistage. So there you have that. Okay. So now let me go here to the playbook. Where is it? There it is. Okay. All right. Okay. Before I get into, stop that video. So every little slide is a video. So now this is your funnel. You got it. I have it. We all have it. And for chairs, critically important to understand this funnel, because you have no time to waste when you're starting and building a practice, and you're needing to close business to get paid and so forth. You cannot mess around with figuring out what to do. So you got to own your funnel, and this is really a make or break scenario. I say that, I truly believe it, because if you don't understand every nuance to this and you don't exploit it in the right way, it's bubblegum and toothpicks. And your build funnel, I don't call this a sales funnel. We've all seen this. Usually they say a sale. I call it a build funnel, because it's not just selling a funnel like this. And at the top of your funnel is awareness. So you've got to obviously create awareness that people that you want to work with, spheres of influence, networking partners, need to be aware that you even exist. And so there's a huge important strategy, top of the funnel, on creating awareness. And then you've got to be doing interesting things. So, everyone's online today, everyone's hitting it hard, and you got to stand out and be interesting. And this is the, what you're putting out there, content and all that. I'll talk about that in a second, but you've just got to be different and be interesting. And then when you do those 2 things right at the top, you get engagement. And engagement can be people coming into your inbox from outreach campaigns on LinkedIn or wherever you're out, you're reaching out. It can be people with email opening, clicking, certainly replying to email, people attending your LinkedIn Live events, expressing interest in those. Engagement, right? So you get engagement, top of the funnel. Then I call it the, you got to convert, the conversion area. And, there's a few things below here I didn't include, but conversion is all about getting people on a Zoom or face-to-face meeting, whatever your deal is, and then managing your pipeline, and closing the business. And conversion is obviously a massive deal. And although we don't do the converting, I get involved with folks a lot on the conversion side because it's hard, quite frankly. I mean, you've been ghosted. It's hard to get people on a Zoom call, let alone close them for business. So there's a big strategy, science, art that goes in just to converting to Zoom, being organized, managing pipeline, and closing the business. So this is your funnel. Own that. Now, okay, there's that guy again talking. These are the tools. Now, there are other things involved beyond these, but I will go to my grave just saying you got to have these things and build on these. And so, elevated personal brand. Let me just see one thing here. If I'm going to go through that. Okay. So these 5 foundational tools are the bedrock, and I'm going to go through each piece a little bit here. But if you have these, you're head and shoulders above 99.9% of everybody else, every other executive coach who's also trying to reach out to your CEOs and C-suite executives. And so you're way above everybody else. And master these, get the process down. So let me just run through these here. Okay. All right. So elevated personal brand. We all hear this personal brand. It does matter for so many different reasons. And it helps you to stand out. It's really especially for Vistage chairs, it's the seedling that grows the rest of your marketing. And your personal brand, when elevated, is not at the exclusion of Vistage. Vistage branding, the great stuff, great content, great messaging, but you really have to elevate your personal brand and get it out there front and center in many ways, because people want to do business with other people. We know that there's a human element here. And again, you got to stand out with your own brand. And for me, when I'm talking about personal brand and our team, it's, what are the colors, the fonts, the images, the story that you have, the banners that are using that represent, you and the messaging and how you are different from, frankly, other chairs, but also other executive coaches. And so really got to put some time into that. And then where your personal brand is showing up, certainly LinkedIn, you're reaching out, people are looking at you. Your LinkedIn profile has to be just top notch. We all know that, but it's still, many people have not elevated their brand on LinkedIn and use all the bells and whistles that LinkedIn gives you to stand out. There's the, recording of your name pronunciation. There's the media feature where you can build that out. There certainly is the customized banner, which can tell a story for you. The banner of your LinkedIn profile, the banner of your email. Think of a billboard. You're driving down the freeway. There's a lot of money that is spent on those billboards, science, art that goes into them, calls to action, they pop. Banners the same way. So there's banners, there's landing sites. And landing sites are great, different from websites, and can have very specific calls to action. And we use those, frequently. Website, content, all these things are your brand. Have a media channel that your content can run through. So I've got Giant TV here for my media channel, my media company. I've got Wealth Protector TV for the law firm. All content runs through there, and it becomes familiar to people, and it's just different. Like my mom used to tell me and my 3 brothers, be the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. Stand out. So elevate your personal brand. Put a lot of thought into that. Okay, then you've got marketing is another one of those foundational elements. Every Vistage chair is selling because they have to. And however they're doing that. Many are not marketing, and I see problems with those that are trying to market. And the marketing I see going on is just sharing other people's content. And, go read this. Here's a top 10 list. Here's this. Go read it. Nobody's reading it. Nobody has time. Nobody cares. And it doesn't do anything for you to position you as an authority, to build you up, as any sort of expert or someone who's guiding, teaching, helping if you're just pushing other people's content. Now, that being said, Vistage has great content they produce, for sure has a place. I mean, it's awesome content. And, the climb events they're doing and all these things are great. So weave that in, but you also have to have original content where you're guiding, teaching, helping. And I talk to chairs, and when you really think about it and talk about it, there's not a problem coming up with content to get out there, original content. It's like, what are the topics coming up at the meetings, the one-to-ones, not personal information, but the issues that are, that are common to all leaders or trusted advisors, whatever. What are those issues? Talk about those. What are the solutions around those? I mean, highlight those. That's awesome stuff. And it's speaking directly to your audience. So marketing's about that. It's the stories you can tell. It is certainly video. I include that in marketing because video continues to explode everywhere. And I just, LinkedIn recently rolled out a video scrolling feature to compete with TikTok. I don't know if TikTok's gonna be around. We'll see. But Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts and all of it. So video's huge. Got to use video in some way. Authority-based content. You're guiding. You're helping. You're teaching. Marketing is the long game that supports the selling, where you're asking somebody to do something. So marketing is branding. It's building rapport, knowability of you. So very strategic marketing, and got to be doing it if you're a Vistage Chair. All right, now the selling, short game. As I said, you're asking people to, do things. Selling is getting, trying to get somebody on Zoom. You're selling, asking them to do that, certainly asking them to join Vistage. So it's a short game supported by marketing, the long game. And you can automate and scale the selling. You can't do that with all these foundational pieces, but you can with selling. And the tools are amazing today. And these are not dirty words, automation. These are just fantastic tools that take the tasks off your plate and deliver them, to the people that you want to work with. So it's about efficiency, and there's great automation tools and scaling tools for LinkedIn campaigns and email campaigns and all that. Selling's got to be done professional. I always say that because it's not about spamming. We all get spammed. I can't tell you how many times on LinkedIn I mean, they don't even look at what I do. And, hey, let me help you sell. Well, I'm in that business. So, but it's done professionally. Big focus on LinkedIn. If you're a chair, LinkedIn's great. Members are there. Potential members on LinkedIn. They're hard to get a hold of because they're CEOs and they're, advisors and C-suites. Harder to get a hold of. It is a constant battle. Hand-to-hand combat is what I say. But they're there, and you got to go after them and make sure that you have that process to get them, qualify them, all that, double qualify them, and so forth. And then selling is also about converting. I say I convert to Zoom because that's a big deal because not easy, but there are strategies just to get somebody on a Zoom. There's, if you connect on LinkedIn, you're trying to book somebody, there's a video feature on the LinkedIn mobile app. You can send a video to somebody, send an audio to somebody with the LinkedIn mobile app, and it can be a game changer done right. With that, you send a video and it goes out as a LinkedIn message on the LinkedIn mobile app. It's awesome. There are tools like BombBomb, which is a video messaging email service I've used for years. I love that. But my point is, there are tools to use to help you convert, and then it's what you say as you're converting. So the selling, getting somebody on Zoom is part of it. Pipeline management is huge. I see this neglected a lot, where got to have a master lead list, got to have a process for getting engaged leads into your master lead list, into email distribution. So they're getting touched by your guiding, teaching, helping. But pipeline management and setting alerts and reminders, what are the tools you're using to do that? Because if you don't do that efficiently, it just becomes unwieldy. Opportunities are missed, and it just a broken process. So pipeline management, I go in a lot about that with shares. How are you managing your pipeline? And then closing, man, there's an art to closing, and I really see a lot of cases where there's some teaching that needs to be done for closing, and not everyone's a salesperson and a closer, and there is obviously strategy there in closing somebody. What is your process for touching them? 90% of the people that come into your pipeline initially are going to be long-term leads. You're not going to convert them in the short term. That's true for the best marketing people on the planet. So what is your process for nurturing them as you're trying to close them? And you can't, be calling them all the time. Hey, join Vistage, join Vistage, join Vistage. That is going to backfire on you. So what are you doing? And do you have the process set up, which I call a touch point ecosystem, where they're getting touched while you're trying to close them? They say, hey, call me back in 90 days. As a matter of fact, I had somebody tell me that today with my LinkedIn campaigns. Hey, I'm buried. Can you reach back out to me the end of Q1? I replied, absolutely. There is no way that guy's not getting touched by me at a very high level up until, I try to call him back to get him on a Zoom call. He's, I've got him dialed in. So he's getting touched with really good stuff. And I'm just going to warm him up. So when I call, he will know who I am. He'll see my great stuff, give myself a better chance to convert. So things like that, closing, got to figure that out. And it really does help. And I'll say this too, because this came up with a share recently where, a lot of, in her words, first conversation I've had with her is, hey, I have no problem on the front end of my funnel. I'm getting a lot of leads. I just have a problem closing them. So I reverse engineer that. So what are you doing on the front end to get these leads? Are you guiding, teaching, helping, building relationships, building rapport, this stuff? No, not going on. Original content? No. So although these leads are there, a big pipeline, I would argue all day long that front end is broken, because these people have no connection other than they've just been sold to, hey, I'm in Vistage, join my group. And that's been the focus, not anything else, not giving them anything of value. And, you may even get a client that way. They're not going to be sticky. They're not invested in you as a person and what's going on. So I really, got to say there's front end activities that help with the closing. Okay. Email is a big deal. People tend to poo-poo it because everyone has an email. It's been around forever. Email done right is a really effective tool. It's about consistency, and the content you're putting together where you're helping people is distributed through email. You've got to monitor the opens, the clicks, and the replies. For instance, if you're sending out, a very targeted email about, your membership, maybe a testimonial, and it's great if you get replies. Not everybody replies, but if people are clicking on that and checking out, going to your landing site, those are people to follow up with a phone call. And so that's the source of leads to identify, because they're engaging with you. It is very important. And if you have the right email system, you can monitor all this. I like constant contact. And then email's got to be constructed properly. So it can't be just a newsletter that you're just throwing out there. No one's reading that. And if it's got a bunch of stuff in it and so forth, not pleasing to the eye, delete. And, we all get a million newsletters. Here's a newsletter. And, that's problematic. Construct it properly, meaning what you're sending to the person is highly correlated to them, helping them. But then the subject line of the email, there's a science. Now, what do you put in the subject line to get someone to even notice it and open it? Then the look of the email, is it pleasing to the eye? A lot of white space helps. White space with big spacing between sentences, not too many images. I mean, there's a science here. And so just the construct of that email goes a long way in somebody not just unsubscribing right away, but saying, oh, okay, this looks interesting. and I'll check it out. Big deal. And then do you have a process to gather email? So along the way, when you're doing lead campaigns or, however you're reaching out, you're doing LinkedIn events, are you gathering emails and getting them into your distribution platform? That's a big deal. You've got to have a process for that because that's how you can nurture people with email over and over and over. So that's important. And then, okay, I'm loving these LinkedIn Live events. You have free tools. LinkedIn Live, LinkedIn events, we all do, underutilized, but they're great. And what you can do are do these authority events, one a month. Not a time-sucking thing. Doesn't take a lot of time, but do these authority events. You can pre-record them on a Zoom and then live stream them on LinkedIn. And you can feature members, current members, prospects. It's a great way to engage with a prospect. Hey, I'd like to feature your business on my media channel. Here it is. Here's a landing site to go check it out. Hey, that looks great. This is awesome. Sure. Now you got a prospect, A-level prospect with a story to tell about their business on your show. Awesome. Awesome lead magnet to get somebody engaged with you and have a lot of success with that strategy. And so because you just got to be talking to prospects, you just have to be in conversation with them every week, having discussions, engaging, and using the tools to make that happen. So once a month, the content targets your niche. So obviously the content, I have Vistage Chairs that have, Vistage speakers on there. I've got a stable of top speakers that have partnered with me to help chairs at no cost to do these incredible events with the content that we know resonates with CEOs because these are Vistage speakers. So we're doing that. And then you track and engage these things. So a lot of the success of these events, any event that you're doing, is the follow through. What are you doing after the event? You market the event, you put it together, great, but now it's follow up. When you do a LinkedIn event, for example, there's a LinkedIn event portal. People are pulled into it that you invite. You're inviting your first level of connections, targeted people. It's awesome. And then you have a captive audience. You see them in there, and some will show up, others express interest, whatever, but they're in there. Those are great people to follow up with. The replay of the video, which becomes a post in your news feed. It goes, if you're streaming on YouTube, it's now a YouTube video. Grab that link, whatever the case is. But track and engage, and it gives you reason to follow up with somebody other than join Vistage. It's, hey, saw that you were interested in my event. Here's the replay. It was awesome. Would love your input, et cetera, et cetera. So it gives you reason to reach out, which is great. Okay, and I just say this. There you have it. Embrace those 5 foundational pieces, and it will lead to efficiency. No problem at all. And if you ever want to talk about any of these pieces, Insight, happy to do it. Just go there to that site, and you can see how to get in touch with me there. But that's it. Hope you glean some stuff here that will help you in some way, and we'll see you next.